Good morning, friends. Today, our topic of discussion is anticoagulants. They can be broadly classified as warfarin group, heparin group, and direct thrombin inhibitors. Coming to warfarin group, the drugs usually used are warfarin, azithromycin, and phenedione. Remember the side effect of phenedione, there can be orange red urine. The mode of action is they inhibit activation of vitamin K dependent factors. Those are 2, 7, 9, 10. The step affected is gamma carboxylation of glutamate. The thing to be remembered here is usually warfarin inactivates vitamin K dependent factors but no action on already activated factors. It is something like it inhibits the activation but it has no action on already activated factors. So that's why it cannot be used as initiation. It is usually used as a maintenance therapy. First factor to disappear is factor 7. Half-life is 6 hours. Last to disappear is factor 2. Half-life is 60 hours. So that's why it usually takes for full effect to occur 2 to 3 days. Very important, because it cannot deactivate the already activated factors. It cannot be used as an initiation therapy. Warfarin can follow zero order kinetics and its side effects are bleeding. Whenever there is bleeding due to warfarin, it is better to give fresh frozen plasma. So this will be the treatment of choice, whereas the specific treatment will be like an antidote vitamin K, and it will also cause a fetal warfarin syndrome, also called Conradi syndrome. That's why it should not be given in pregnancy. Now how is it monitoring? So remember the mnemonic VAPT, warfarin, extrinsic pathway. It affects the extrinsic pathway and it is measured through prothrombin time, that is PTINR. The opposite for heparin. At low doses it affects intrinsic pathway. It is measured by APTT. Very important. Remember one thing, VAPT. Warfarin affecting extrinsic path and monitored through prothrombin time. Now let us see drug interactions of warfarin. Drugs increasing warfarin concentrations and drugs decreasing warfarin concentration. Drugs like cephalosporins, cefamendol, cefaperazone and moxilactam. Also aspirin, phenylbutazone. Which decreases are rifampicin and OCPs. Next, coming to next group of drugs, that is heparin. These are indirect thrombin inhibitors, unfractionated heparin, low molecular weight heparin. Another drug is fondaparinux. We know that prothrombin has to be converted into thrombin, and for fibrinogen to get converted into fibrin, we need a thrombin. So this is also called factor 2A, and here factor 10A, and this is factor 2A. Now what happens? Why is it indirect? So it will activate antithrombin 3. There will be a conformational change that will inactivate 10A, and there will be a scaffold formation that will inactivate 2A. Now remember, heparin, that is unfractionated type, both 10A and 2A inactivated, whereas low molecular type and fondaparin X only 10A. Now let us see low molecular weight heparin versus unfractionated heparin, subcutaneously used with long half-life and sustained absorption, and also no monitoring is required except in end-stage renal failure, where we have to see anti-10A assay, whereas in unfractionated this half-life is less, and also there is no sustained absorption, and it is usually monitored because at low dose it affects intrinsic path and it is done through APTT. At high dose, warfarin can also function as anti-platelet drug. Now side effects, same, the bleeding. Treatment of choice will be fresh frozen plasma. A specific antidote will be protamine. Other side effects are osteoporosis, that's why calcium supplementation is required, thrombocytopenia, alopecia, there can be hyperkalemia due to affecting aldosterone metabolism or aldosterone functioning, and hypersensitivity reactions. Now what is this heparin induced thrombocytopenia? What happens is, after starting heparin therapy, round about 5 to 10 days this can occur. Platelet count will be less, so it can fall up to 1 lakh or less than 50%, and venous more involved more than arterial. So this is due to antibody formation against heparin and factor 4 complexes. This results in paradoxical thrombosis, and to treat thrombosis here, anticoagulant of choice will be direct thrombin inhibitors. So use direct thrombin inhibitors. The next group, never warfarin or low molecular weight heparins. In some cases even fondaparin X can be used. Coming to the next group, direct thrombin inhibitors. Remember the drug names: hirudin, lepuridin, bilaviridin, and Gortons. Similagorton, Milagorton, and Argatroban. These inactivate directly factor 2A, anticoagulant of choice for heparin-induced thrombocytopenia. Usually all are excreted by kidneys except Argatroban, so it can be given safe in renal failure. Other drugs are danoperoid and droticogen alpha. A drug of choice in pregnancy will be heparin, and also remember the pneumonic wept, and drug of choice for heparin induced thrombocytopenia has to be direct thrombin inhibitors. Thank you.